hats available for heavy at the moment. Let's get rolling.
So it isn't as bad of an idea as I originally thought.
Well, time to jump on this bandwagon while it's still fresh. Hey there, dum-dums. About a week ago, a fellow YouTuber named Scouter made a video reviewing every Scout hat in the game. And a few days before him, another YouTuber named Teal Opal did the same thing but with heavy hats. So I thought I'd throw my hat into the ring and give my opinion on every Pyro hat that is currently in the game. This video will only go over items that are considered hats, so that means no miscs like the Sight for Sore Eyes, and body cosmetics like the Trickster's Turnout gear. I'll also only talk about hats that are Pyro exclusives, and I won't really be talking about Halloween only items. Alright, first on the list is the Pyro's Beanie. A nice and simple hat. Not the best I've seen, but for the first hat for Pyro added to the game, I wouldn't say it's that bad. But you do have better options. The Brigade Helm. Another early hat for the Pyro. This hat is really nice looking, and pretty ironic when you think about it, but I don't really see why many people don't wear it. I mean, it's not bad. It's a nice looking hat. Why don't people wear it? The Respectless Rubber Glove. I really love this hat. Mainly from a personal bias because this was my first hat other than the Gibbous, and wore it on my Pyro for the longest time. Other than that, it's a pretty nice hat. The Triboniophorus Tyrannus. This is just a blob with eyes. I don't really know what else to say other than that. The Vintage Merriweather. Not the worst hat in the game, but I don't see myself ever wearing it. I guess you could make a neat little Roman soldier set with it, but there's already a hat for that. I guess it's good for a cheap unusual. The Attendant. Once again, not the best hat I've ever seen, but I can get the appeal in it. The Handyman's Handle. The first in the long line of goofy Pyro hats. Honestly, this hat is pretty ugly. It's just a plunger attached to the Pyro's head. I can see why they added it into the game, but it's only really good as a cheap unusual, and other than that, it's pretty bad. The Napper's Respite. Not a bad hat. Probably the best when it comes to Pyro winter themed hats. The only thing I can think of when I see this hat is what it looks like with the Sight for Sore Eyes. The Old Guadalajara. The Prancer's Pride. It's just a deer antler strapped onto Pyro's head with a string. That's all. The Madame Dixie. A nice little hat. Pretty basic, but I've seen worse. The Dead Cone. One of the only goofy Pyro cosmetics I can actually get behind. It's not actually all too bad, and looks nice as a cheap unusual. The fact that it's slightly askew can bring a few clipping problems, but overall it's not too bad. The Connoisseurs Cap. The Haughty Hoodie. Personally, I don't really like this hat. It's really tight around the Pyro's head, and that alone really turns it off for me. The Stately Steel Toe. Ew. The Birdcage. Not bad. I don't see very many people wear this, and I can kind of see why. But pair it with the Nabbler, and you got yourself a done deal. The Flamboyant Flamenco. The Little Buddy. The hat that I currently wear on my Pyro. It's a nice little hat. Really cute when you pair it up with a Sight for Sore Eyes. And also looks pretty nice Saruno as a cheap unusual. The Bubble Pipe. Space! The Head Warmer. Not bad. I really wish you could see the Pyro's eyes with this thing. But overall, it's not too bad. The Waxy Wayfinder. I'll be honest. I had no idea this hat even existed before looking up hats for this video. It's pretty ugly if you ask me. The Area 451. You pair this thing up with the Popeyes, you have a godly cosmetic combination, and I want to be your friend. The Wraith Wrap. Alright, it's come to this moment. Hit it, Maestro. The Death Cap. On its own, it's pretty gross, but paired with the nose candy, it's passable at best. The Necronomicon. The only reason anyone should ever wear this is during Halloween. I have never ever seen anyone wear this. Maybe because it's a promotion from Poker Night 2, or maybe because this hat looks pretty bad. Probably a combination of both. All of the robot hats are in the same section because I honestly don't like any one of them. The originals are far superior, and the only reason I could ever see anyone wear one of these is because they are in unusual form. That is all. The Centurion. This is the Roman hat I was talking about earlier when I was talking about the Merriweather. It's alright, but only really looks good when paired with the steel six-pack. The Burning Bandana. Not a bad hat. A little simple for my taste, but I can see why someone would wear it. The Hive Minder. This hat is pretty meh. I don't see why anyone would really wear it. I guess if it had the mass flies effect on it, but that's flies and not bees, and there isn't any other cosmetics I'd really pair this up with. The Pampered Pyro. I don't really like this hat. The only thing I would wear this one for is if it had a steaming unusual effect on it. But those are like 17 keys, and I don't really feel like spending that much to get one. Other than that, it's a pretty ugly hat. The Bone Dome. The colors are way too dark to really stand out, and while you can fix this with paint, there are so many other better options for hats by this point that you might as well just save your money on a better hat. The Toy Tailor. Once again, nothing really to write home about. Not the best hat, but good as a cheap unusual, I guess. The Soulmate. It's just a fish. That's it. That's it. It's just a fish. The Combustible Kabuto. Since when was this in the game? Employee of the Oomph. Discount Little Buddy. The Smoking Skid Lid. It's not the best hat. Pretty meh if you ask me. It only really looks good when you have the rest of the set with it, to be honest. The Pyromancers Hood. It's really just a better version of the Haughty Hoodie from earlier. The Head Full of Hot Air. This cosmetic is pretty ugly. The only reason I can see anyone wear this is if it had one of those rad invasion unusual effects on it. But those are pretty expensive, and I don't really think it's worth losing one of your cosmetic slots just for an unusual effect. And finally, for the last pyro hat on the list, the Carcharodon. This is probably one of the cutest pyro hats in the game. I don't really get why no one wears this. It's pretty much the ideal hat for playing Pyro Kart. So that's it then. All Pyro-specific hats have been looked over and reviewed by yours truly. See you in another month unless I actually decide to become a productive member of this society.